Hi, today I want to talk about something a little different. Picked up a book a while back and got to looking at it and was reading the initial intro stuff, and it was written by a gentleman, and I will talk about this book in a future video, but it was written by a gentleman who is a master sommelier. And I thought that might be an interesting topic. I've never talked about that. And the question being, what is a sommelier? All right, now that is a job title basically, and it can also be a degree of certification. So a sommelier is your wine expert, one who's been through some training, and the degree of training varies depending on their certification. So let's just take a look at that and kind of give you an idea. I also, a while back, ran across a PBS type show that was called SOMM, which is short for sommelier. It showed it's a little bit of a reality show. It showed several people going through the test for the master sommelier, kind of the highest level out there. So, got a few notes here, just so I don't forget to leave things out. Okay, the Court of Master Sommeliers has various degrees. You have the Master Sommelier, which is a diploma, the Advanced Sommelier, a certificate, Certified Sommelier, again a certificate, and the Introductory Sommelier certificate. So these are kind of in descending order of knowledge. Now you have somebody who just kind of gets started. He may know a lot about wine, or she, I shouldn't be sexist here. The person may know a lot about wine and decide they want to make a career out of it. To advance their career and potentially make more money, of course, they want to get some certification. So that's where these types of things come in. You basically, you start at whatever level, get your training, and then you move up to your next level. Now, ideally, the way to go about this is if you're already working in an industry where you're familiar with the wine and you actually have a situation where you do get to taste it and things like this. A restaurant, for example. So this would be an ideal learning place, because part of the exam for the sommelier is to identify by smell, taste, and sight what a particular wine is, the varietals, where it's from, the approximate age, the vintage, and a number of other things with a pretty good degree of accuracy. So if you're not around wine and tasting that and saying, okay, my wine here. Okay, I'm tasting this, this, and this in the wine, I'm smelling that, I see by the color, all these types of things. You would want to do that, and then you kind of self-validate by looking at the bottle. And you say, okay, yeah, I was right. You have someone else pour it for you, say, yeah, it was this particular varietal, it came from this region, but boy, I was way off on something else. So that kind of gives you a way to build your knowledge, your experience, and taste it on somebody else's dime. I wish I could do that, but not in that position. I pay for my own wine. Okay, now, what exactly does a sommelier do? That is kind of a question right there. Now, depending on where this person is working at, they have a number of duties, and these, mix and match, depending, again. So, at some levels, they might be in charge of the procurement of wine. They would go to the different wine tastings, annually, semi-annually in their area, or nationally. Go through, taste all the wines, and say, yes, I want this, I want this, I want this for my place of business, or restaurant, or whatever. They would be picking these with the idea of the menu that's already in place. They might be looking for new things, for new menu items. It's like the chef has created some wonderful, great thing, but it doesn't currently have a wine to go with it. So the sommelier would be the one probably in charge of finding that wine. It might be the owner. The owner and sommelier might be the same person. So it depends on the size of the restaurant, a lot of other factors. But assuming a sommelier that's not in their own restaurant, that might be a potential duty. Another one is working with the customers, the actual people coming in to dine in a restaurant. Walk the tables, go around, or perhaps a server doesn't know quite what to recommend, so they call you over as a sommelier and you say, okay, what are you having? You talk about the different wines and work something out for their taste, what they like, what they're having for their meal, and the price range, of course. You have to keep that in mind for most people. So these are some of the things they do. They would also work with the chefs in the restaurant, pairing the wines with the various dishes on the menu. They would also work with the wait staff, get them trained so they can have a pretty good shot at recommending wines to their customers. And that way you don't have to be hitting every single table every night. It gives you time for some other things to do. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, if you're into the higher level sommelier, the master sommelier, then it opens up some new doors to you. You might be working with a wine buying company, a distributing company. So your company that you're working for is doing the wholesaling to restaurants or to bars or other alcohol establishments, even to grocery stores and wine shops. So you become their resident expert. You help find new wines, buy new wines, maybe do write-ups, talk to the business owners, explain to them about whatever wines, and give them tips on this and recommendations. So you become kind of the ambassador for your company to the customers of your company, your clients. Other possibilities would be reviewing, actually doing written reviews in magazines for local newspapers, video reviews, why not? It's build up a reputation, make a lot of money just doing reviews. It's amazing what people want to pay for and look at. Then just all kinds of things that can be in that area. You might also be called on to do speaking engagements. So these are some of the things that a sommelier might do at a higher level. Your lower end sommeliers, the ones who may or may not have a lot of formal training, would be probably working in the restaurants and helping out their customers. So I hope that gives you a little bit better idea of what a sommelier is, what a sommelier does. So with that in mind, ask to see your sommelier next time you go into a good restaurant. Cheers. Hi, today I want to talk about bad wine. Now, this is not the sense of cheap wine. I'm talking about you open a bottle, no matter what the cost, and it's just not good to drink. How do you know that? How do you know that the wine itself is bad and it's just not something that you personally don't care for?